Hi everyone, and welcome to Michelle on the Money. This is all about your money from consumer to business news in the bi-state. Let's start with St. Louis County. The St. Louis County Council and the county executive are once again at odds, this time over an $81 million budget deficit. Our Laura Barczewski reports as leaders fight about what should be on the chopping block.
Members of the St. Louis County Council are working to put together a brand new budget because they say the one submitted by County Executive Sam Page does not address the multi-million-dollar deficit. Council Chairwoman Rita Days says department heads aren't getting the message. She says some are underspending and then coming back the next year asking for more money. The council says the county has a $61 million deficit in general revenue and $20 million deficit in the health fund. County Executive Sam Page says he believes they should use RAM settlement money and institute an online sales tax to help balance the budget. The council plans to vote on the budget bills in the coming weeks. I'm Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Leaders of the Regional Convention and Sports Complex Authority are considering a merger with Explore St. Louis over managing and funding the Dome at America's Center. Our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal report that the RSA proposed this idea. Now the group wants to change Missouri law that would allow the Dome to be operated by one board with appointees made by the Missouri governor, St. Louis mayor, and St. Louis County executive. As it stands right now, the state-created RSA owns the Dome, but has an agreement with Explore St. Louis to manage the facility for events. Well, you may have seen it, but sports betting is now officially live in the Show Me State. And earlier this week, DraftKings Sportsbook celebrated the launch with a ceremonial first bet at the Palladium in St. Louis. It is one of several national sportsbooks now live in the state. And now anyone 21 years or older can place a wager on the NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, and also collegiate sports, including Mizzou athletics. Experts say sports betting could generate more than $3 billion in Missouri in its first year alone, money that previously flowed into neighboring states like Illinois and Kansas.
Better for that money to stay within this state government than maybe going to other state governments. And again, kind of going back to when people want to spend this type of money, they're going to find a way to do it.
Missouri, by the way, is the 39th state to legalize sports gambling. The new convenience, of course, of sports betting has local addiction experts issuing some warnings. Prop bets, which focus on individual players' stats in a game, are a fast-paced type of wager that experts say carries a higher risk of developing addictive behavior. And addiction specialists anticipate an increase in people seeking help, emphasizing the danger of initial wins.
The worst thing that can happen for someone that has a gambling disorder is to win the first time, because they always want to go back and get that dopamine hit again.
A new state law creates a $5 million compulsive gambling fund to address this issue. For those seeking help, resources are available, including the hotline for Assisted Recovery Centers of America. That number, by the way, is on your screen, 314-645-6840. The sexually explicit website Pornhub is no longer available to people in Missouri. The owners of the adult site shut down access in the state this week as Missouri's new age verification rule for pornographic websites went into full effect. Now, in a statement, Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway says Pornhub is welcome to leave Missouri. What is not welcome is any company that puts profit above the safety of our children. The Trump administration is issuing a new threat over SNAP benefits. The food assistance program was put on hold during the federal government shutdown, and now the administration is threatening to withhold it from Democratic-led states that refuse to give the Agriculture Department with information on who's receiving those benefits. Several Democratic states sued the Agriculture Department to block this request. A judge put a temporary hold on the order last month. It has been a record-setting holiday travel season. The Transportation Security Administration set a record for daily screenings the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Agents screened more than 3.1 million passengers. It marks the busiest travel day in the agency's history. If you are flying out of St. Louis Lambert International Airport, you may end up paying more to catch your flight if you still don't have a real ID. The TSA announced that it is raising its fee for the thousands of travelers without 1 to 45 $45 next year. So you may remember that the state of Missouri actually extended the deadline twice, giving people an additional 5 years to get one. NBC's Tom Costello breaks down what you need to know before the deadline.
All right.
20 years after Congress passed the Real ID law and 7 months after Real IDs were required at airports, the TSA says time is up.
You're good to go.
Starting on February 1st, if you don't have a Real ID, the TSA says a temporary pass at the airport will cost you $45 to fly domestically. That new non-refundable fee more than double the $18 payment the TSA recently announced, designed to cover additional technology and security costs.
We want to make sure that we know who is traveling, and we are exercising all options to make sure that the system is safe.
The TSA says the fee can be paid in advance, online, or in person at the airport, and will be valid for just 10 days if you're flying and don't have a Real ID. After that, travelers will have to pay yet again. All of it leading to enhanced security screening and some delays.
This process could take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes.
Congress first approved stricter standards for issuing IDs back in 2005, based on recommendations from the 9/11 Commission. But implementation of Real IDs was delayed for years until last May.
That golden star is key.
Leading to a last-minute scramble, long lines, and scarce appointments at DMVs nationwide. Now the TSA says more than 94% of passengers are already using Real IDs or other acceptable forms of ID, like a passport or military ID. If you don't have one now, you've got 2 months until the new fee takes effect.
Travelers who haven't traveled in quite a while or haven't been able to get their ID upgraded to the Real ID compliant form are likely going to feel the burden of this $45 cost.
Well, let's turn to holiday shopping. Cyber Monday sales hit a record. Adobe Analytics estimates that sales will ultimately top $14 billion from Monday. So here's Jen Sullivan with what you can do to protect those packages headed to your home.
It's the season of giving, but for wannabe thieves, December is the season of opportunity as packages pile up outside people's doors. That's why experts say it's important to take extra security steps so Grinches don't grab your gifts.
We want to make sure people are aware when their packages are arriving to their doorsteps.
Richard Rocha with Amazon says the vast majority of their packages arrive without issue. But to help raise awareness about package safety, Amazon is partnering with the National Sheriff's Association this year. Last year, at least 58 million packages were stolen, and roughly 25% of Americans have been a victim. It's a crime that causes billions of dollars in financial losses a year, and these types of crimes tend to go up during the holidays. So what can you do to protect your packages? If you're not going to be home, FedEx and UPS allow you to deliver your packages to a different address. Out of town, the U.S. Postal Service will hold your mail for up to 30 days. Amazon allows users to use lockers for up to 3 days.
We have more than 25,000 locations across the U.S. where people can choose to have their packages sent, including a Whole Foods or one of our hub lockers that are available.
You can also leave instructions with your Amazon delivery driver, like request to have packages delivered behind your home.
Okay, so what should you do if your packages are stolen? You can call the retailer's customer service line. Also, security experts say most of them will send you a new item, and you should also file a police report. Now, if you are thinking about getting your kiddo a smartphone for the holidays, you may want to hear this first. A brand new study shows that a smartphone at a very young age could put children at a higher risk of some health complications. According to a study published in the journal Pediatrics, kids who get phones at a young age are more likely to face obesity, depression, and insufficient sleep. Experts suggest you hold off on giving your kids phones until they are much older. So whatever you buy, if you are not careful, you could be paying off that bill long after the holidays end. Here's Cheryl Mercedes with some tips to stay within your budget.
The best thing you can do is plan ahead. Regional Executive and Managing Director at Bank of America, Dennis Johnson, says if you head out of the door or go online without a list, no budget, and just a bunch of good old intentions, you could wind up swimming in debt.
Who this holiday season is in jeopardy of accumulating debt?
Anybody that believes that they have to buy a gift for every single person,
And they haven't taken the time to sit down and write out a list of the people that they definitely want to give gifts to and a budget for each person.
Tis the season to buy now and pay later. I mean, how dangerous is that?
We should have about 3 months of reserved savings for emergencies. And so when you start to become like really aggressive during the holidays and you start to go into some of those other things that are very like critical, if something happens, then you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble.
What are some of the red flags that people are headed toward a debt spiral?
If you've been paying your credit card balances off each month for the first 9 or 10 months of the year, and all of a sudden you turn around in February and you can't do that, you probably spent too much.
What is one smart move that people could make right now to make sure that they don't fall into a debt trap this holiday season?
You have to make a list, check it twice, make sure that you are being very thoughtful about what you're going to get for the folks that you love.
Johnson also wants to remind folks the best gift you can give someone you love this holiday season can't be found in a store. It's time, connection, and making memories without going into debt.
Sometimes it's easier said than done, right? All right, if you haven't bought your tree yet, you might want to hurry. Farms across Missouri may see some first-time shoppers. Economists say that tariffs are raising the prices of artificial Christmas trees, which is forcing so many people to bring home the real thing instead. More than 80% of artificial Christmas trees are made in China, and the Real Christmas Tree Board says 84% of growers are not raising prices. Speaking of tariffs, Costco is suing the Trump administration over tariffs. Costco says it is seeking a full refund of all tariffs collected under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, a result of President Donald Trump's executive order, which imposed what he called reciprocal tariffs. The legality of Trump's sweeping tariff agenda is currently under review by the Supreme Court, and Costco did not say in the filing exactly how much the company has paid in tariffs. Check your kitchen for a certain holiday treat from Aldi. Silvestri Sweets is recalling 2 holiday barks because they may contain some undeclared allergens. The company says the pecan cranberry and cinnamon holiday bark may contain undeclared wheat. The cookie butter holiday bark may contain undeclared pecans. The products were sold nationwide at Aldi, and customers should throw away the products immediately. We are getting some new insight into the Trump administration's plans to set up accounts for kids. The so-called Trump accounts will launch on July 4th of next year, and babies born between July 1st of this year through 2028 will receive $1,000 of federal funds that will grow tax-free. The money is to be invested in broad stock market index funds. It can be used for education, housing, or converted into a retirement account once the child turns 18. 2 tech billionaires will also expand the accounts to an additional 25 million children.
Our gift will cover most of the children that are 10 and under that are not part of the federal program, the 0 to 2-year-olds, and who also live in zip codes where the median income is $150,000 or less.
Others, like family members and employers, can contribute up to another $5,000 a year into the accounts. All right, well, here is a great holiday gift idea for St. Louisans. Season tickets are now on sale for the 108th season at the Muni in Forest Park. This week, officials announced the lineup for the summer of 2026. Take a look here. The season kicks off June 15th with Hairspray. That's followed by Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Newsies, and Ain't Too Proud, the life and times of the Temptations. And get this, you know, the 1904 World's Fair inspired musical and local favorite, Meet Me in St. Louis, that's going to run for 8 nights from August 6th through the 13th. The season wraps up with Something Rotten, which is a comedic Shakespearean musical. Both new and current season ticket holders can buy their tickets online. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for watching Michelle on the Money. For more stories like these, be sure to join me every day on Today in St. Louis starting at 5 a.m. We're going to see you again next weekend right here on the 5+ app.